Okay. We're going today the Maharal on it. So let's start the first Rashi on the Parsha, and in Yetz Hashem, what the Maharal has to say on it. Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe. Now, if it would just said the last word Lemar, it would have been a very common pasuk. Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe Lemar. But there's a lot of words added in between Moshe and Lemar. One of the words, Bamidbar Sinai, Bo'oel Moyed, Be'echad l'chodesh hasheni, B'shona hasheni, Setzeisam Eretz Mitzrayim, Lemar. So says Rashi, Vayidaber Bamidbar Sinai, Be'echad l'chodesh. Mitoch chibasan lefanav, since the Kodesh Baruch Hu loves Am Yisrael so much, Moina oisam kol shah. He counts them. Now, kol shah means every hour. No, here, take the sheet, Rabbi Yonason. Kol shah. Kol shah means any given opportunity. Kishiyotza b'Mitzrayim, when they came out of Mitzrayim, menam, we were counted. Ukishenoflu be'egel menon, leida anusarim. Maybe it should say leida minyan anusarim. That's how it says in other prints. Kishabal la'ashor shinosolem menon. Be'echad b'nisan hu kama mishkan, u'be'echad be'iyar menam. Right? So, Makatupo, we were counted 3 times over the course of a year and 2 weeks. Right? When we came out of Mitzrayim, Tesvav Nisan, we were counted. And then we were counted again 90 days later by Chet HaEgel. And then we were counted again on Rosh Chodesh Iyar. A year and 2 weeks after Matan Torah. After Yetzias Mitzrayim. What was bothering Rashi? What was Rashi bothered by this saying this? Huh? What would you say? My friel Rashi. What was Rashi bothered by? What would you say? What do you think he was bothered by? L'chor, what was he bothered by? Why did you count them so many times?
Before the Egel.
What?
Egel just before this, wasn't it?
No.
Egel was when
No, he's not Talmud. It's about 10 months earlier. Why should he speak about Chet HaEgel Dafka? What do you think he was bothered by? Reb Ari says he's bothered by because how come they were counted so many times? Prove to me that's not what Rashi was bothered by. Ah! Okay, where's it? Just here. If that's what Rashi is bothered by, you should have said it in Pasuk Beis. What's Pasuk Beis? Su'ul, count. In Pasuk Aleph, it doesn't say they counted. So wait the Pasuk Beis. What's your problem? No, Rashi doesn't do that. Rashi doesn't do it before. Whenever the problem rises, that's what Rashi will deal with it. Why should he deal with it in Pasuk Beis? If the problem is in Pasuk Beis, why should he deal with it in Pasuk Aleph? Why? What does it bother? What? Meaning, L'chora Ari's right, because you see the answer is they were counted 3 times because he loves them so much. So the simple understanding is that why were they counted so many times? And the answer will be because he loves them so much. But if that would be Rashi's question, he would wait for Pasuk Beis. Pasuk Aleph doesn't mention the counting. It's Pasuk Beis that mentions it. Right? So then we're up by, so what was he bothered by?
Why not straight away? As in this particular time?
So he was bothered by in Pasuk Aleph. Why are you adding so many words about location and time? Why are you adding so many words about location and time? Just say Vayidaber Hashem and Moshe Lemar, like it says so many other times in Chumash. Why are you adding such detail on this statement? If that's Rashi's question, what's Rashi's answer? If Rashi's question is, why are you adding so many words to the regular, usually common word, a pasuk Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe Lemar? Here it says Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe Lemar. Just take the sheet. Okay, Shkach, we don't need the Chumash today. I mean, you always need a Chumash, but not today. Okay? If Rashi is bothered by why you're elaborating so much about the venue and the time in this pasuk. If that's Rashi's question, so what's Rashi's answer? Give a look at the Maral. The Maral speaks about this.
When you do a census, you've got to know when it was carried out.
I don't know. Who says? Who says?
Because a census is the number of people at a
What?
point in time.
I don't know. No idea. Does it say the other two times when it was done? It doesn't.
You know, here you do a census every 10 years.
No idea. You know what? Let's give a look. Let's see if we understand. Yesh makshim. Let's see Box Aleph. Yesh makshim. Lama lo pirish ze al su'u esrosh du ikar b'koimai. Meaning, why didn't Rashi wait for pasuk base? V'yesh lashiv l'she'elatam. Sheba liyashev. D'lo lichto be'echad l'chodesh hasheni. Why do you have to write all these dates? Shelo b'kol mitzvah mitzvah nechtam matay ne'emra u'beize chodesh u'beize yom. You don't you don't spell out in every mitzvah what time was done. V'tiretz mipnei chipos amoneh esam kol shah v'hashta shapik kosa b'echad l'chodesh hasheni b'shon hashenis l'odiacha shemispar hazeh miyad haya v'nimnu gimel ponim b'shon ha'achas. So what's the wrong answer? You know how come the Torah stipulated when this counting took place? To show that 3 countings took place in such a short time. If you wouldn't have said the date in Pasuk Aleph, maybe this happened 30 years later, 40 years later. Who knows when this happened? But the Pasuk, meaning, the Maral asks the question, so the question's on Pasuk Aleph. Why are you telling me these dates? Not every time when Moshe Rabbeinu spoke, the Torah elaborates and states. The answer is, what's the answer? To bring out a point that over a course of such a short time, they were counted 3 times. Usually, you don't have to count each time. You rely on the last counting if it was done in a short time afterwards. So that's what the Maral is saying. V'zeu achiba. V'ii lo kasav kan be'eze shana u'be'eze chodesh haya, lo yadanu shaya akol b'shana achas. We want to bring out that over a course of a year and 2 weeks to be exact, we were counted 3 times. That's uncalled for. So why were we counted then 3 times? Meaning, so that's the answer. Why did the Torah spell out the location and the timing? To bring out that the counting took place in a very short period of time. What? Oh, what about the location? We're still in Bamidbar Sinai. Meaning we didn't travel anywhere else. We're still there. Still in Parsha. Where's Michael? Maybe write him a text. Huh? Come on.
Where's Paul?
What?
Where's Paul?
Baruch told me he could come. Baruch said he could come. Okay, he's allowed not to come once. Beseder. Okay, good. Okay, so let's go on. So we were counted in such a period of time. Why? The answer is because counting shows chiba. Each one's being paid attention to. The Ramban says each one got a bracha from Moshe and Aaron. And that's how come we were counted 3 times in such a short period of time. Not that HaKadosh Baruch has to know the numbers. HaKadosh Baruch knows the numbers anyway. It's to show us how much He loves us. Beseder? That's the Nakuda. Okay. So, let's go on. What other questions can you ask in Rashi? So now we have understanding why Rashi is speaking in Pasuk Aleph. Rashi is in Pasuk Aleph because he's bothered by how come he's giving such details about the venue and the timing. And the answer is to bring out that 3 countings took place in such a short time. Why? To show the love. Why does counting show love? It shows how each one's so precious. Like when you count your money, you count it again and again and again. When you're on a trip, you count it again and again and again to show the chiba. Okay? That's Rashi's answer. So what was Rashi's question? Why do you have to tell? And what's the answer? It was so close together, and the only reason for this counting is chiba. Fine.
Even though the first person doesn't say anything about counting at all.
Which one?
Even though the first person doesn't.
No,
mention
yeah, because that was my problem. My problem with the first pasuk was, yeah, what was my problem in the first pasuk? Why are you mentioning these dates? And the answer is to show that the counting happened in such a short period of time. Okay? Beseder. Oh! Here, we have sheets today. You see, are there still sheets there, guys? Here's a couple. Shkoyach. Rabbi said, please look in the Rashi and still ask a few bumper kashas. Egel's not what? It's the Shah which were left. So that Rashi pointed out also Parsha Egel. L'masha l'roya, that a wolf came and killed the sheep, and he wants to know how many are left. Yeah. Not the Parsha, but the counting. Leida minyan on the Tell me a few geshmaka kashas on this Rashi, excluding the ones that we spoke about till now, which the Maral spoke about. Why is Rashi in Pasuk Aleph? It should have been a Pasuk base, and the answer is, here's the issue. Fine, we got that. Oh, he gave me Europa. Boy, it's like some setup. Is there a sheet? No, it's just today, it's sheets. It's all Maral, so which you have to sip anyway. Shkech. I want to ask you, let's ask a few.
Why wasn't the counting done on the 1st of Nisan?
On the what?
Why wasn't it done on the 1st of Nisan?
Oh, that's a good question. The third counting was done. What does Rashi say? Reb Shlomo, what's up, Geshen? You always come on time, Reb Shlomo. Okay, no problem. Sheets. We have sheets today, Reb Shlomo. Okay.
Rashi says on line 2.
Right. Right.
However, in fact, it took place a month
It took a month later. So that, again, Rabbi say, the third counting was delayed by a month. The Ashra's Shechina was in Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and when did the counting take place? 30 days later. So maybe it doesn't have to do with Ashra's Shechina anymore. Maybe it had to do something else. If it's because of Ashra's Shechina, why was it delayed a month? So Rabbi say, good kasha, very good. Look back, please look at page 2. Let's move over now to page 2, letter base. The Mara on the spot asks this kasha. V'im toimar, v'alolo k'shema la'ashot shchina semenon. They were not counting when he kept the Mashra Shechina. Ela achar kach be'echad be'iyar. A month later, ויש לומר, כיוון באחד ניסן הוקם המשכן, כל זמן שלא היה עדיין החודש, מזמן שהוקם המשכן, לא נקרא שהוא שוהה במשכן עם ישראל. Up to a month, you're still called a tourist, a guest. כי דברים במסכת נדרים, again, it's not מסכת נדרים, it's מסכת... Exactly. כי דברים במסכת, it should be בבא בסרה. נדר מיושבי העיר, אסור בכל מי שדר שם חודש אחד. If a person makes a neder, I don't want to have anything to do with the people of that city, it's only applicable to those living there at least for a month. If someone living there for a week or two, he's not part of it. And Reb Shlomo is making a tzur shtel tel mezuzah. Good. ובחודש אחד נקרא דירה. לכך כששור השכינה בהם 30 יום, מנהם. Very good. And that's what Omer for Shirashi answer. Meaning, you know how come it took 30 days? To see if it's a permanent phenomenon. If a Koshbo is coming, maybe he'll leave in a week. After he's here for 30 days, it's Kabbalah. Where else do you see that 30 days makes a kviyas and mezuzah? Pidyon abed? No, that says no. Porus ben Yom Koli Porus. No, doesn't say 30 days. It says Porus ben Yom Koli Porus. The Gemara says. That's what we pass at least la halacha. What? I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. After 30 days, good. These are all good zushtels. So, very good, Binyamin. Your kasha the Maral asks, and the Maral answers. We waited 30 days to show that it's something permanent. Good. Let's go back to the Rashi, boy. So, what else could you ask on this Rashi?
Why by Mitzrayim and Egel, there's no date mentioned, and suddenly he mentions a date
So, with the other ones, because you can figure out on the spot, you see when it happened. It says Pasha when he came out from Ramses. It's like Pasha, and it happened then. Also, you see exactly when it happened.
Couldn't just say when the Mishkan was set up, they go count it?
No,
Has to say the dates?
but we want to bring out that it happened in short time, that the Maral explained. If the Mishkan was built another 30 years later, so it won't be approved. We want to show that the 3 countings happen in 1 year.
I understand. Why does Rashi need to say the date of the Hukam Mishkan? When the Mishkan was set up, that's when they counted.
Because that's a question. There, I hear. To answer the question, but we weren't counting on the day of the Mishkan. We're counting 30 days later.
So to bring out that point.
So to show, it's not a stira. If I'll say we were counting when the Mishkan was built, no, it's not. We weren't. We weren't counting on Chad B'Nissen. Okay.
We weren't counting the day we came out of Mitzrayim either.
Yes, we were. They promised us the day. Ram says, "V'yitzumi Ram says Sheshmut Eretzakmi." We were counted.
His heading should have been B'Shana Hashem.
I'm sorry.
His header story.
In the Diwa Matril.
The Diva Muslim should have been B'Shana Hashem.
Okay, maybe it's. I hear.
But Echad Lachodesh, it could have been any. It could have been 30 years later.
Okay, good kasha. Good kasha. How come in his Diwa Matril it doesn't say B'Shana Hashenis? Good. Good. It's a good hour. I don't have an answer to that. Good kasha, Rebuta. Tell me else. What else could you ask in this Rashi? Maybe we'll start. How many people died in Chet Egel? Okay. How many people died in Chet Egel?
Don't really know.
It says in the Torah 3,000.
No, but there were also the people who were tested through the waters which had the din of the mace.
But the minute, but that's not so much ahead in the Torah. But we think over here, late the minyan of sermon, it says how much they died. So it's 3,000. 3,000 out of 600,000. How many are they? Percentage wise, 0.5%. So how many did not die according to what's written in the Torah? 99.5%. 99.5% are called Nusarim, the leftovers, the remainders. Leida minyan on Nusarim. The word minyan is not written in this print, but probably it's a typo. Nusarim, you call 99.5% survivors? Leida, we know what happened in 80 years ago, that sometimes the whole village was wiped out and one remained. Nebuch, we heard that so many times. That I understand, that's called Nusar. But if 0.5% died and 99.5% did not die, that's called Nusar? Okay, over here, let's give a makasha. Is that called Nusar? Leida minyan on the Nusar? Isn't that a little strange?
Every nefesh is a whole.
So it makes everyone else Nusarim? Okay, that's what you see? A good point. It's like a puzzle of 1,000 pieces. If one piece is missing, the whole puzzle is incomplete.
And they were also guilty to an extent because they didn't stand up for motion. There's no evidence. That
Meaning the Gzera could have been on them as well.
Yeah.
Okay, that's also a svar. Good. I'm just putting out questions to ask on the Shabbos table, in Mitzvah Shem, that you'll ask this week on the Shabbos table. But Rabbi, so what's the biggest kasha to ask on this Rashi? Tell about the kasha that we ask, even the Gerayos kasha. Say it. Shkoyach. But what's the biggest kasha to ask here? Yeah, but there's such a gewaltige kasha to ask here, and you're going to see it's so geschmack. What's this Rashi saying? That over a period of 1 year and 2 weeks, we were counted 3 times. Why? Any excuse HaKadosh Baruch Hu will use as a pretext to count us, to show us love. What we say in Hebrew, siba lemesiba. Right? Yitzhak? What?
It's a period of 13 months.
Sorry?
13 months. Period of 13 months.
12 months and 2 weeks. It's 12 months. That's from year to Chodesh year. That's from Nisan to Chodesh year. It's 1 year and 2 weeks. Okay? What's the biggest question to ask? Matan Torah, we were not counted. And that happened in this period of time as well. The biggest event ever in the history of mankind is Matan Torah. Isn't that a gewaltige kasha to ask this Shabbos 3 days before Shavuos? If you're going to ask this kasha at the Shabbos table, want this like pay people, hey, that's a good question. Because the music coming out of this Rashi is, any given event is used as a pretext to count this. Yetzias Mitzrayim, counting after the Egel, Ashura Shechina, you name it. Any siba lemesiba. That's how you say it in Hebrew. Give me any reason to party, I'll party. The biggest event ever, more than Yetzias Mitzrayim, more than Ashura Shechina, was Matan Torah. And the Yiddish folk were not counted in Matan Torah, and it occurred also in this time span. Between Tezvav Nisan and Rosh Chodesh Iyar Shana Shenis.
Is it part of Yetzias Mitzrayim?
First of all, let's feel the kasha. Don't tell me an answer yet. Soak the question. Don't answer me yet. This is a kasha which is a chiyuv gomer to ask on Rashi.
It's a great answer.
Okay. I'm hearing all the answers. I hear what Binyamin is saying, but hear the kasha. The kasha is moiridik. Without Rashi, it's not a kasha. I don't know who said they have to be counted. But Rashi says that any event, any important event, is used as a pretext to show his love. Is there any more important event than Matan Torah?
Sorry, where does Rashi say that?
This Rashi.
Rashi doesn't say any.
Look. Mitoch hiposel lefanav moisra oisam kol shah. Kol shah means any given event. Kishiyotz, of course, that's what it means. Kishiyotz mitzayim, menon. Kishnafel be'egel, menon. Meaning, anytime there's a kochzach, a big meiser, and Rashi calls it kol shah. So what does it mean? It wasn't literally every hour. It means whenever there's an important event. Any like kochzach epis. Isn't Matan Torah called kochzach epis? Rabbi say, I'm begging of you, ask this kasha at the Shabbos table. Bring this Rashi and ask the kasha. Ask them to say it. They should discover this on their own. Especially at this time of the year. Bahamas. And when I ask this question to people, like, their mouths drop open. What's up, Shabbos? We say. So let's hear. Now that you soaked the question, let's hear a few answers. So Rabbi Binyamin's saying an answer. Let's start with Rabbi Binyamin's answer. Zokt, Rabbi Binyamin Tzaddik, that's how it's called in the days of the Gemara. It's very applicable to here as well. That we were Keishachad B'Levachad. You don't count one. Counting is counting individuals. Meaning, how many Owen Koydishes are in this room? One. That's not called counting. It's a minyan. The Bible says profession. A minyan's not called one. How many tables are in this room? 1, 2, 3. That's counting. That's counting. But otherwise, it's not called. So, meaning, let's think Rabbi Binyamin's answer. Maybe just to say it a little bit in another knetch. The Torah was given to a national body, not to individuals. Could you bring me a rhyme for that, Rabbi Say? The Torah is given to Ummah and not to Yechidim. Gewaltig Rabbi Yehuda. We spoke about how come the Torah was. The Maharal explains it. The first Perek Yud Zayin. Why wasn't the Torah given to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov? They were wonderful people. Give the Torah to them. Says the Maharal, no, you got to give the Torah to a nation, not to individuals, because individuals die at the end. And the Torah has to be given to a recipient that will live forever. That's what the Torah has to be given. So, that's answer number one. Go ahead. That's answer number one. How come we were not counted in the Matan Torah? We reached such a level of unity that we were one collective body, so you don't count the individuals, you count the collective body, underscoring the point that Torah was given to a nation, not to Yechidim. And counting is focusing on Yechidim. Good. Tell me more.
You can say the opposite, that it's infinite, every generation, from Matan Torah, therefore it's impossible.
Oh, let's take what Yudah say. Very good, what say. You're saying very good. Rabbi's saying another answer. I think what Yudah's saying is, if not, he's subconsciously saying it. That always works. You can't argue with the subconscious. it would be misleading to count them. It would send a wrong message. Why? As if that generation is more obligated than we are. We are not one iota less obligated than the generation of the Bamidbar. All of us are called Mushbu v'Oimed Mehal Sinai, the Gemara in the Durham Daf. Why are you singling that in a long chain with many links? Why are you singling out the first link? Are they more mechuyev than others because they were present? No. We're all obligated for generations and generations to come. So why are you counting on the first one? Yetzias time happened with that door. It did. Chayav Adam lirusatzmo ki'ilu hu yotza miMitzrayim. Fine. It never says anywhere Chayav Adam lirusatzmo ki'ilu hu chayav b'Torah. Ki'ilu hu kibel Torah. Of course he's chayav. Why would you single out that first door and count them?
They were the ones who received it.
But again, they're not more than anybody else. It's a, you know what?
But they had the
Give this to Richard.
They had the revelation of the Baruch Har Sinai, which subsequent generations.
No, but we get to it. It's a risky message. It's a risky message. You could say this, or you could say maybe they're mechuyev and I'm not mechuyev. Richard, we're talking about the first Rashi in Bamidbar. It's a murdic point to ask. The Rashi says the Jewish people were counted over a year and 2 weeks in 3 different occasions because there were 3 great events that happened. Yetzias Mitzrayim, Chet HaEgel, and Ashura Shechina. And we're asking, Matan Torah also happened in that course of time. And the Jewish people were not counted in Matan Torah. Why not? So one answer was Rabbi Yomin Ki Ishchad B'Levachad. The other answer is Rabbi Yehuda, saying it's a risky message. They, more than us, maybe they're obligated, I'm not obligated. You know, at the end of the day, we weren't there with body and soul. We were there with soul. Well, soul can't say no. The soul doesn't have free will. With what mouth could the soul say name? Right? It can't. So therefore, I'll tell you the truth. I remember that once a boy in Hasmonean asked me, he found out that his next door neighbors were Gerim. They converted years ago with a bunch of little children. And then when the children reached a certain age, boys at the age of 13, girls at the age of 12, they went to Beis Din, and they were asked, do you want to keep on or not? It's a Beis Din. And if they said yes, if not, they're out. He says, I also want to be asked if I want to keep on or not. Well, how come no one asks me at the age of 13, do I want to keep up or not? How come only Gerim? Okay, Akasha. What? Yeah, but where's it say Kochani Mechuyev in Torah? Doesn't say that. But anyway, I'll call on it. Okay, good. It's a question to think about. Again, you can see we are on Shavuos night. The Torah Midbar accepted the Torah Nasim and Ishwa. Why is it obligated to me? I was not asked personally if I want the Torah or not. Were you asked personally if you want the Torah or not? No. How come I don't have the right to say I don't want? Just like a ger does. It's a kasha. Okay, it's a bunch of it's a kasha to think about. So that's answer number 2 that we have here. How come the Jewish people were not counted in the Matan Torah? And again, we say it's so gishmak to ask this question because always Bamidbar comes right before Shavuos. Kimat always. So it's a Shavuos topic, a Shavuos parsha, right? How come we were not counted in the Matan Torah? Good. Anybody want to add in another territory, maybe? Why were we not counted in the Matan Torah?
Only 50 days earlier will be counted, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And to know first of all where we going, what's going on. We are coming up in Mitzrayim. How people came up in Mitzrayim? Who counted where was the first counting taking place? When should it count place?
No. It was Ramses. I don't. It could be. I don't know.
There was no strike. We didn't give no strike.
No. I don't think so. I think someone counted them. We took Chibasa. No.
Exchange.
Yeah. Someone counted them. Because what's your answer? How come we were not? How come we were not counted in Matan Torah? What's the answer?
Because no reason. There's no reason to.
We took Chibasa. We're not to call Shah. To show Chiba.
There's a reason. There's the reason.
No, what's the reason? No, it's that. These are good answers. That's an answer. It's a medachik.
You don't need to show chibah, Matan Torah.
Oh, here comes another answer, which I'm happy you just said. Tell me if you like it or not. You don't have to show chiba more. Matan Torah is enough for chiba. Because what we give Torah is not enough chiba. I'll prove it from Mishnah. Chiba Yisera Noidas Lem Shinitanu Kli Chemda. So enough chiba. How much chiba do you need? Right, you, that's what you're answering?
And Hashras Hashchina is not.
Oh, Hashras Shechina is not?
That's right.
And you see it's not? So obviously that can be good. Kadagi, you can say Mina and sorry. Fine. What about the two in the corners? And say, well, B'chal, is there any problem showing too much chiba? I'm saying from my experience in chinuch, did I ever reach a problem that the kid was shown too much chiba?
Very safe.
If they're spoiled, that's another thing. But to show love, show as much as you want.
Too much chesed is no good.
What?
Too much chesed is no good.
No, it's not chesed. To show love that you love your children is never too much.
Yudis and Yosef.
No,
What?
That was what you said. Not chila. That was.
A preference, favoritism.
Yeah.
No, that's dangerous. But to tell your children once a week, I love you and I'm so happy that you're here. Yesh baya? Yesh baya like it? What's the problem? Bayamas. The moral himself points, you know, I told you what I said, the Rav Hutner Zatzal told me. What's the turning point in the shidduch? That once you reach this point, it's mazel tov. Of course, it's a gradual process, of course. But what's a turning point? What's a turning point in any shidduch that once you did that, mazel tov, and if you didn't do that, it's nothing yet. You know, he told me this Goin Yisrael V'Kodshay. When one party could tell the other party, I guess the boy to the girl, in the most sneezdika, kosher, kedassia federation, based in, I don't want to go to any politics, heck away. The boy could tell the girl in the most sneezdika, kosher way, I like you. If he can do it, it's a shidduch. If he can't, if he said, no, I'm not going to say it because maybe she doesn't like me, and if I'll say, so it's nothing happened yet. And he told me it's a maral. B'shas Ma'aseh, I don't know which maral he's referring to. It's on the Mishnah Pegavis, in Perek Yishadat. Chiba Yisera Noidas Lem, Shenita Nem Kli Chemda. O Chaviv Adam Shenivra Batzerem Chiba Yisera Noidas Lo. Says the maral that chiba, if it's not verbalized yet, it's not the real thing yet. Verbalized, not verbalized. No, noidas, the Lashon of the Mishnah. And he says, "Mefresh, we fight with us also. Is it nice? Is it not? I don't feel so comfortable telling Ari I like him because it sounds like sissy. I don't know, even though I like him very much. But I can understand that. But to tell your children, your wife, your parents, your siblings, yes, baya. To tell someone who's not family, I can hear it. Even me as a loud American, I can hear it. You know, you're a little bit reluctant to do it. Ich verstehe. Your chavrus said a gavaldik svar. Oh, good. But I can tell you, my kid's already in their 30s. My oldest son's already in early 40s. Baruch Hashem, a week doesn't go by that I don't tell him, you know, each one in this style. It's such a matana teva that Kodesh Baruch Hu gave us you to give you to mommy and me. Such a matana teva. Whenever I think about you, I get full of simcha. Mashu. And when they're teenagers, kal v'chomer. And if what happens if that week they misbehaved, so maybe that week don't do it, or maybe that week do it twice. Engage it. But is there any problem to tell your children how much you love them? You don't have to be reluctant on that one. Bamas. So what's the problem to show too much love? You already showed, you don't have to count them? Yes, Maya? I do see what happens when kids are not shown enough love. That I can tell you is harmful. But I never saw that it's harmful the other way. Bamas, nicht. Sorry. Sorry. So that teretz, I don't know. Anybody want to say another teretz? Why the omission of counting in Matan Torah? It didn't happen there. Body and soul, we only 6,000, right? Okay, we say there could be a few more terutzim, but think about it. But meanwhile, we came up here with two very nice terutzim. What Rabbi Yamin said, that we ki ish echad b'lev echad, and what Rabbi Yehuda said, it's a dangerous message that maybe they're obligated more than us in Northwest London in 2024. maybe we're obligated a little bit less, and we're not. We're obligated b'diuk the same way, right? Fine. Oh, Reb David, אתה איתנו רב דוד? כן? מצוין. Rabbi, so let's go back there. There's a few more ones here that I want to. Time's already running out. I want to learn with the oilam. Let's go to another one.
Is there no stewards of accounting with you've got them so yeah,
So I think always the accounting was done with coins or whatever. That was done in a way that will be safe. That's always what they answer. Because it's dangerous. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, what we say. Let's give a look at page 3.
If you say before Matan Torah, they were Jewish then. If they were after Matan Torah, I mean,
But they were counted in Yitzhak time, which was even before. The 3 countings, the first one was Yitzhak time. Okay? Give a look at Moshe and Perry, give a pasuk Aleph. Give a look. Ve'ele told us Aaron and Moshe. These are the offsprings, the children of Aaron and Moshe. B'yoim diber Hashem es Moshe b'Har Sinai. Says the Rashi. Ve'ele told us Aaron and Moshe. Ve'eno, a new point, Rabbi say, a new point. Ve'eno maskir ele b'nei Aaron. By the next pasuk, it says only b'nei Aaron. So could you also over here, could you ask why is Rashi jumping already in pasuk Aleph if the kash is in pasuk base? Would you ask the same question here as well? No, because the contradiction exists between Aleph and Beis. In Aleph it says told us Moshe, and then you count only when there's a contradiction between A and B. You could ask the question at A or you could ask the question at B.
The contradiction doesn't count until B.
But I can see. But I have a problem with my pasuk then. Again, that's exactly what I'm saying. When there's a contradiction between A and B, you're allowed to ask the question by A, because there'll be a problem in this pasuk soon. That Rashi does a lot. ואינו מזכיר לבני אהרון, וניקוד עוד את משה, לפי שלימדם תורה, מלמד שכל המלמד is בן חבר תורה, מה לב הכוסף כאילו ילדוי. It's like Gemara in Sanhedrin, which Rashi is quoting, and where are the children of Moshe? His 4 nephews. Why is his 4 nephews called his telodas? Because he taught them Torah. And the next Rashi says, "B'yom diber Hashem es Moshe, nasu eno telosho." Mamash on that very first day already. Shalimda mashalom and mepia gvora. Where's any questions on this Rashi? Oh, Moshe Rabbeinu taught Klal Yisrael. He's not called Moshe Rabbeinu. He's called Moshe Rabbeinu. So why are you counting only these 4? What do these 4 have more than Klal Yisrael? No. First of all, Rashi said on that very first day. Rashi said on that very first day.
when Moshe gave the Torah over, he gave it to Aaron, then the son, then
No, give a look. First of all, Aaron comes first. Ketzet said the Mishnah, go through the Rashi there, Kisisa. No, they wouldn't have mentioned. It says Elazar. And look, it won't help anyway, Yitzchak. This Rashi says it happened on that very first day. B'yom diber Hashem es Moshe. Nasu elo telodos. Give a look at the Maral. Give a look at what I said. The Maral is going to ask this question. But the Maral is first going on the second Rashi. On the second Rashi, which says they became his children on that very first day. V'imlo ke'manyan dvar Hashem lekan. Good, right? Diber Hashem. That's Yom Diber Hashem. Sorry, not Dvar Hashem. Diber Hashem. ואף אגב שגם אחר כך נעשו תולדות לו, שהרי תמיד היה מלמד אותם, כמשמע ואפילו לא נמדו רק דבר אחד נעשו אלו תולדות. ולפי כוסה ביום דיבר השם נעשו אלו תולדות. ואם תאמר, here comes the question that Shai was saying. שיה. וכי להם לבד לימד? הלא לכל ישראל לימד. Next page, what we say? ויהיו הכל תולדות. What a gewaltige kasha. You're saying he taught his nephews Torah, so therefore they're called his children. You know how many names should have been mentioned now? 600,000 names. You should have had now the yellow pages of Manhattan. Did you ever see it? Do they still have yellow pages, by the way? Probably they don't have it anymore. But you remember when I was growing up, Manhattan was like Mamash Elias. The names of Manhattan. The yellow pages. I'm sorry? Yeah? So how come all Klal Yisrael are not called Bnei Moshe? Or mention everybody's names, or don't mention nobody's names. But these 4, yes, the rest, no. What a bumba kasha. Look what he answers. The Shani Yisrael are different. שהקדוש ברוך הוא ציווה לו שילמד להם תורה. והתורה שניתנה למשה לא ניתנה אלא ללמד לישראל תורה. לא שייך לומר שישראל הם בניו, שאלמלא לא היה ישראל, לא היה התורה ניתנה למשה. אבל מה שלימד לבני אהרון יותר מה שלימד ישראל, זה היה ממשה לבד. ולא נצטרך בפרק כבר ללמד להם יויסר. ובזה להם בפרט, כאילו ילדם. Does anybody want to explain the Maral's answer? What's the difference between these four and the rest of Klal Yisrael? Moshe Rabbeinu taught all of us. He's Mitzvah on everyone. Oh, that he taught them more. So you only become children if it's anyone Mitzvah? What will be the Svara? I hear what you're saying, Ari. What will be the Svara? Rabbi said, when you look carefully at the words of the Maral, I'll tell you what he's saying. L'chura. A father comes first. A father and son, who's the cause and who's the effect? The father's the cause, the children the effect. Right? By Am Yisrael came first. Moshe Rabbeinu received the Torah because of Am Yisrael. Meaning, because it's Am Yisrael, and Hakadosh wanted to give Torah to Am Yisrael, he asked Moshe to go teach Am Yisrael Torah. How could you say that someone that preceded Moshe will be called the son of Moshe? Meaning, you can't, the cause and effect are reverse. A father is the cause of his children. Absolutely. But here, what happened here? Because there's Yisrael in the world, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave the Torah to Moshe to teach Am Yisrael. If there wouldn't have been Yisrael in the world, what would have happened? Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't have got the Torah. So who's the cause and the effect when it comes to the relationship of Moshe and Israel? I'm sorry? Klal Yisrael are what? Are the cause. Right? So a cause cannot be called a ben. Only an effect can be called a ben. I'm sorry? Oh, so Bnei Aaron, that's the mouth takes care of. Then he did extra when he was not commanded to. Meaning, he did it on his own free volition. No, so he taught them what Klal Yisrael taught, and then he taught them more. The man was saying explicitly. He taught them more than what the Klal Yisrael, he taught Klal Yisrael. So he did it beyond his call of duty. Beyond his call of duty, we're back again to cause and effect. What? No, I'm not saying that, but we're not going to go to it now. No, I'm not saying that, but nice idea. Nice idea. Okay, good. Beseder? That's what Ral answers here. I'm going to say, any other questions to ask on this Rashi? Let's go back to the Rashi. Look through it again. Look at the Rashi, tell me if you see any questions. Yes, Michael.
Sorry, it's not really a question, but can you not just say, maybe speak about Matish, but the Torah is introducing now Aaron and his sons. The Torah is not introducing Klal Yisrael. When I'm introducing Aaron and his sons, I'm going to refer to not just Aaron as their father, but also Moshe as their father.
But Klal Yisrael are also called his children?
Could be.
Okay, he doesn't mind that tomorrow. Okay. I hear. You're saying introducing, not introducing Ani Shomea. Ani Shomea. But, okay, good. Rabbi, I want to ask you another question. Okay. You know, there's another Chazal that says something very similar.
I mean, just for correction, if you don't mind me saying so.
Yeah.
In Ba'era, we are introduced to Nodav Avihu and Ozram Yisrael already.
So meaning the children of Aaron were already introduced before.
Yeah, but they're being introduced now because the Levinim are about to be given to them.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Beseder, you guys find out afterwards, the two of you. Beseder? That will be a very geschmacka Binyamin, Rabbi Binyamin, and Rabbi Michael. Woo! Okay, Baruch Hashem. Now, Rabbi say, there's another Chazal that says something very similar. V'shinantam levanecha. You remember what Rashi says there? Levanecha elu talmidim. It's not your biological children, rather it's your students. Matzinu b'chol mokom shal talmidim kuim banim. Everywhere talmidim are called children. Shenemar banim atem l'Hashem Elokechem. That's the Rashi. We're called the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You know why we're called the children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Because we're the talmidim of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And a talmidim kuim banim. Is there any difference between talmidim kuim banim and kol ha'malam has been chaver Torah kilu yelodai? Isn't that saying twice the same idea? But this is learned from this pasuk in Bamidbar. Talmidim kuim banim is learned from the pasuk in Parshas Re'eh. And furthermore, there's an afkamina la'alocha in it. On this one, the Maral says, afilu dovar echad. Right? That's what we said on the beginning of the left column. Rav Huda Zatzal learns from the Goyen, the way he quotes that Gemara, that Sifri, Shatamidim Kulim Banim, it's only Talmud Muvak. Give a look at what boy said, number 3. Number 3, this question is brought out. Veda, footnote number 3. Sheme'ein Rosh Zurivi Rashi Ma Sifri B'dvar. וזה לשונו, here it is. לבנך אלו התלמידים. מצינו בכל מקום שהתלמידים קוראים בונים, שנאמר בונים אתם להשם אלוקיכם. וראה בפחד יצחק שבועס מאמר כ"ט, שדייק מדברי הגרוע, בשולחנו אחי יורדיה, סימן רשעי, שעיקר הדין בזה, הוא דווקא להעמיד תלמידים מובהקים. בוודאי אין התלמידים קוראים בונים, אלא כשהם תלמידים מובהקים. ואילו כאן ביאר גורא, שכאילו ילודם מהרבצוס תארים הסכם, אפילו לא לימדו רק דבר אחד. It's not the end of the world to say there's a machlokes between the Maharal and the Goyen. The Maharal preceded the Goyen by about 180 years. But the Besmedish that I come from, they're considered on the same wavelength. If there's a machlokes, but try to avoid it if you could. So there's a machlokes between the Maharal and the Goyen. On this Maharal Chazal, the Maharal says, "Afilu limdu davar echad." On that one, Shatamidim Koim Banim, Rav Huda's Medak from Sidul Divrei Agra, that it's Dafka Talmid Muvakim. I mean, not just Dover Echad. Talmid Muvak is, wow. Love Chachmasei Meno. So what's going on with these two drushes? They learn from different Sukkim, different Chazals. Aren't they very much the same? Hamanab Ibn Chavar Kilu Yaladoi, Talmidim Koim Banim. Yesh Avdel? Yeah, Rabbi said there is Evdel. Let's medak the Lashon Chazal. Here it says Ki'ilu Yelodoi. What does it say there? Shatalmidim Kuim Banim. What does that mean? Rabbi said any relationship between father and children, there's two aspects. There's one, the birth itself, which by the mother's 9 months pregnancy, by the father it's much less than that. And then there's the gidul, the investment, the binyan, what's called Tzar Gidul Banim. Anybody in this room, was he spared from Tzar Gidul Banim? Huh? Can anybody say, no, by me it was chick chick? Ein bayot, akol מצוין. חלק חלק ונתחלק. הכל מצוין. אין כזה דבר. There's the Leda itself, which is one pu'ula, and then there's you're toiling for until you put him into the chuppah and beyond also. Right? There's two aspects in any relationship between father and children: the Leda, and then the investment. Parallel is also my Rebbe. There's, if you tell him one Dvar Torah, and he got a chiyas from it, Kilu Yilodai. Yiloda means gave birth. No, that's a binyan. That the Goyen says has to be a Talmud Muvak. So there's no steer between the Maharal and the Goyen. They're just really speaking about two different aspects. There's two major points of a father and children, the Leda and the afterwards. And parallel, you have it by Rebbe and the Talmud as well. Sometimes you heard a word from someone, Rabbi said, I'm sure it happened to all of us. You heard a word from someone, and wow, you got turned on. And you remembered years later, one word. That happens also. An injection of chiyus, and it can carry you funos along. But then, there's also when the baby's a little, to stay up at nights, and then comes the expression in Yiddish, kleine Kinder, kleine Tzores, große Kinder, große Tzores. And I remember someone once came to Reb Nocha Patzovich and complained that his children are so wild, they're breaking the dishes and the plates and the cups the whole time. He said, it's Tzar Gidul Banim. That's what he told Reb Nocha the Talmud. So Reb Nocha Talmud, that's not called Tzar Gidul Banim. That's Gidul Banim. The Tzar is not breaking dishes. Yeah, it's aggravating, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count. That's Gidul Banim. So there are, and so Medug in the words of Chazal, Ki'ilu Yelodai, says the Maharal, even one word. Shatamidim Koim Banim, says the Goyen, Talmud Muvak. Adrab, they mamish complement each other. There's no steer here. It depends on what element you're talking about. Right? Okay, so
Maybe Rashi's got to be on Pasuk Aleph. The word told us is the impact.
good. That's very good for a lawyer. So Mitsuya Matek. Come on, Kyle. Back to Kyle. Come on. Let's speak. You made enough money, I promise you. The truth is, I don't know. Back to Kyle. Does the Ilam agree? We'll sponsor Michal and Kyle? Okay? I think the truth is all of you should go back to Kyle. What, I'm sorry?
How does Kodo come?
Oh, very good. Medicine, shkach. It's very good to medicine. Anyway, I'll call upon him. Yeah, that's good. So that would be another reason Rashi said Pasuk Aleph. And the truth is, it's that's one of the issues that sometimes you have when you're teaching in a school that has to follow British law. So, and a Rabbi-Talmud relationship is not really quantified by law. If you see your son getting wet in the rain, not much drenched, are you going to stop and give him a lift if you're there with the car? Yeah. And if you see a Talmud getting drenched by rain, would you stop and give him a lift? You can't. You need the approval, email in advance from the parents. So by the time the emails will come and go, the guy will get drenched. Who knows till what? To have children, to have students over for Sudas Shabbos, it could be done. But you know what kind of procedure you got to go through? Shabbos. First of all, you need consent. The parents have to write a letter to the thing. There has to be another adult in the house, which hopefully your wife could fill up for that one. And you see, it's come from a different area. You don't have this by relations of father and children. Okay. I told you when I was 14, 15, 16, but we learned by Rav Koldetsky Zatzal in the Yishuv, if you said a good svara, that didn't happen that often, you got a kiss on your forehead. Today you give a kiss on the forehead, you go to jail. Your mom's going to jail today. Again, if the kid doesn't complain, so maybe not, but he could. It's, by teaching Torah is not a profession. It's life. Shalom, shalom. You see how many people want to join this year?
Vocation. Teaching is not an honor, it's a vocation.
It is a vocation?
It's a vocation, it's what you do. It's your vocation in life, it's what your...
It's a mission.
It's your...
It's your chiyus.
It's your essence.
Right. Rabbi said there's another few more miles over here on this sheet. Okay, we didn't get to it. I'm going to get finished, but okay. So Rabbi said, I want to wish everyone, we should have a good year. Shavuos, the Shloah Kodesh brings in the name of the Tulas Yaakov, it's Yom Adin on Torah. How much Torah are you going to learn this year? Rosh Hashanah is how much Parnas are you going to make this year? Right? Shavuos, how much Torah are you going to learn this year? And therefore it's a big inyan. It's a big inyan. Tomorrow is the time to say Tfilas Hashla, and right, Rosh Chodesh is tomorrow. Nachon? Yeah, of course. Rosh Chodesh is Friday. So to say, yeah. You know, I know someone here in Hendon that says Tfilas Hashla every Friday on his kids, and he rather has terrific kids. Terrific. And he's a balabas. He's not a kli kodesh or anything like that. A good yid. He says Tfilas Hashla every Shabbos. To what age do you say the Tfilas Hashla? So they asked the Stapler, when Chaim Kanievsky was in his 40s, to what age do you say have kavanah on your tshon? He says, I still have kavanah for my Chaim. And he was already in his 40s. Gadol Hador. So your whole life, especially when you say v'tzitzeinu, then your mamash you have to have in mind your children, your grandchildren. That was somebody say. It's a double gadol because in the world that we live in today, there's no guarantees. Because I think because in Torah you're going to be, probably has to do with Matan Torah. The whole word is to give it over. That's the whole word.
Which pieces on the subsequent pages would the Rosh have you time?
We did page 3. We didn't do page 5. From 5, it goes straight to 9. The Gevutza Kari, the letter Tes. There's a few Chedushim of the Maral there. I'll tell you just one of them, because that Inaka Bai Sheni missed the 5 elements of light, Urim, Betumim, Aron, and so on, because Bai Sheni is Keneged Yitzchak, and Yitzchak was blind. That's a Chiddush he doesn't say anywhere else, just in this Gur area, Agab Mocha. I once sent it over to someone who knows Sifrei Maral backwards and forwards, and he says he doesn't remember such a Maral. And I told him, you're right, it's one line in the Gur area. Well, basically, give a look, I'll just show it to you, and then we're going to go home. Give a look at page 7. On the left column on page 7, in the Maral, after number 24. After he explained that Bai Sheni is connected to Yitzchak. והאבן למה היה מקדש שני חסר אורים ותומים אהרון ושכינה אש ולוחויס דכולם הם נמשכים מן האור ויצחק כהו עיניו. There's a very ridiculous inside of the Maral. יהודה, אתה רואה? יהודה, במה אתה עוסק שמה? Okay?
What's his struggle to do with the second?
He shows the Bayis Rishon Abraham, Bayis Sheni is Yitzchak, and Bayis Shlishi is Yaakov. That's what he explained till then. And Bayis Sheni is connected Yitzchak, therefore it's missing light. This is noise. And the whole Sefer Netzach Yisrael, he speaks about Golos and Gula, he doesn't mention it once. This insight he says only in the Gemara. Very not known. It's like in the Gemara. First of all, not too many learn the Gemara Keseder. It's like one line at the end, like people didn't see it. Whoever wants to take his home, b'vakasha. Whoever wants to give it back, also b'vakasha. As you wish. Okay, Beseder. I'm sorry?